Today we will talk about the questions that were raised on the meeting of the President of Kazakhstan, N.Nazarbayev, with the President of the European Commission. What relation does the prominent Kazakh boxer Gennady Golovkin have to exposition? What itineraries and excursions will be offered to Expo guests by touristic companies of Kazakhstan? What museums of the capital are to visit for future Expo guests as well as for current ones? N.Nazarbayev met with the President of the European Commission, Jean-Claude Juncker, in Brussels. The politicians have discussed the questions of international relations, including regional cooperation in Central Asia. They have made diplomatic arrangements on simplifying visa process for citizens of Kazakhstan and lifting off the restrictions on Kazakhstan's airlines and their flights to EU countries. N.Nazarbayev has invited EU countries to participate in the upcoming Expo 2017. We found a common language regarding all questions raised, full understanding. I express my gratitude to Mr. Juncker and invite him to visit Kazakhstan at any convenient time for him. The team of exposition ambassadors has new members. Ahmedjan Esimov has presented a Kazakh boxer, Gennady Golovkin, with the status of ambassador to Astana Expo 2017. The chairman of the board of GSC national company Astana Expo 2017 affirmed that our champion, pride of Kazakhstan, Gennady Golovkin, will proudly represent Expo 2017 on world arena, while his achievements in sport and social life will attract attention to the exposition. The current unified WBA Super, IBF, IBO, and WBC interim middleweight champion and one of the most famous athletes, Gennady Golovkin, has expressed gratitude and readiness to represent major ideas of Expo 2017. There is not that much time left until the opening of the international exposition in Astana. This period is given to all spheres of hospitality industry to prepare as much as possible for exposition season of 2017. The tour operators of Astana are working with both foreign and local potential guests.
Мы участвуем практически во всех роуд-шоу и всегда рассказываем гостям.
We're participating in all road shows and always tell our guests that besides having visited all cities of Kazakhstan, in order to provide a picture of what will the expo be like in Kazakhstan. We've already been to Moscow, Kazan, and are going now to Novosibirsk. In other words, we're trying to travel and show to all our nearest neighbors, and they receive it all with excitement and are very interested in the event.
Соседям мы стараемся съездить, проехать и показать, и они с восторгом это все воспринимают.
Currently, for each tourist, local or foreign, the special offers are being formed.
Надо понимать, что Экспо действительно такое серьезное и важное событие для нашего города.
It needs to be understood that Expo is an important event for our city, which will attract people and the participants, and we also hope that the guests from other regions of Kazakhstan, the neighboring countries such as Russia and China, and from far abroad will also arrive. Therefore, the touristic companies are busy working on special offers for each of those categories.
Надеемся, что из дальнего зарубежья к нам приедут тоже гости. И поэтому сейчас туристические компании заняты тем, что готовят программы вот для гостей каждой из этих категорий.
Each tour company already has its tested classic excursions as well as special creative offers in its own arsenal, oriented for guests arriving to Expo 2017. Throughout the period of preparation, there were numerous contests for companies directed at the search for new ideas and forms of excursions and touristic trips.
Мы сейчас разрабатываем маршрут совместно с учеными.
We are currently developing an itinerary in collaboration with scientists and our future guests from China, from the view of Chinese tourists. Nowadays, it is very popular to research exactly this portrait of a Chinese tourist, his or her needs, and considering the fact that we're neighbors, we have developed close ties long time ago. Now we have clarified what they would want to see, and one of the more realistic itineraries seems to be the northern part of the Silk Road. We're currently elaborating on it.
И вот один из маршрутов нам кажется наиболее реальный, северная часть Шелкового пути. Мы сейчас начинаем его прописывать, наполнять туристическим содержанием.
The modern tourist choosing a travel considers various factors. The simplicity of visa process and the road itself are not the last ones on the list.
Любой объект туристический, он интересен тогда,
Any
когда,
touristic object is interesting when it has a simple road, when the destination is accessible. Nowadays, we're having more and more air routes opening up to our neighbors, including Mongolia and China. I believe that this will add enthusiasm for people to visit.
Китай, новый рейс. Думаем, что это тоже будет добавлять у людей желание приехать и посмотреть.
Not only the directions of excursion itineraries are being owned and sharpened right now by tour operators, but also the technical equipment to serve our guests.
У нас есть такой маршрут, который мы уже больше 10 лет, что называется, обкатываем. Этот маршрут называется...
We have an itinerary that we are providing already for 10 years, and it is called the city tour of the country's heart, Astana. And besides that, we will show the city firsthand, as we are also preparing modern means of communication. In other words, we'll have guides that will talk and everyone will hear him or her without a speaker. Instead, we will have special radio sets. We are buying the electronic device that will mechanically make translations.
Устройства электронные, которые будут сразу механически делать переводы. Мы, кроме этого, сейчас разрабатываем такую новинку, что, подъезжая к каждому из объектов, так как уже практически не осталось
In addition, we're working on a new project, as there is little left on what the city looked like a long time ago. Approaching the new objects during the excursion, we will show pictures on tablets that will be in possession of each tourist. Moreover, we're working on a 3D live map of the city that will be shown on our website. Each sightseer will be able to see how the place looks like at this moment and what is awaiting him or her.
Которое в городе мы будем показывать его показывать в трехмерном изображении и в режиме реального времени. То есть желающий экскурсант может посмотреть, как это место выглядит на данный момент и что его там ждет.
Each capital of the world has its own special feature. Some are famous for their mild climate, others are prominent with their history, or have the atmosphere of glamour holding the best fashion shows. The architecture of tomorrow is the trump card of Astana, say the professional of tourism.
Мы уже давно встречаем же гостей и видим, как люди
For the long period of the reception of our guests, people get surprised with the city's construction. You understand that we can see many modern cities, but as a rule they have both old and modern buildings. What's different about Astana is the fact that it is almost has been built from the scratch. A whole new city has been built, and one building is better than the other.
Астана отличается тем и сразу поражает тем, что у нас практически на чистом листе табуля раса построен целый новый город и одно здание шикарнее другого.
The National Museum of the Republic of Kazakhstan holds two titles, the newest and the biggest museum in Central Asia. Within an area of 74,000 square meters are gathered the archaeological, ethnographic, historical, and cultural monuments of Kazakhstan, dating back to ancient times up to nowadays. The museum has halls of Astana, independent Kazakhstan, the Hall of Gold, the Hall of Ancient and Medieval History, ethnography, and of modern art. The guests will be interested in seeing how the miniature model of the left bank of Astana, the central part of Astana, will be rising, and they will be able to view all the seasides of our beautiful capital. The museum is equipped with facilities in accordance with the modern international standards. There are various newest exhibition technologies that are being used. The unique curved screen, media floor, the dynamic maquette of the central part of the modern Astana. There are various newest exhibition technologies that are being used. Numerous media screens, sensory kiosks, and multimedia guide. You are seeing one of the biggest curved screens in the world, on which the nature of Kazakhstan and seasides of Astana are being demonstrated. The National Museum not only demonstrates the historical artifacts of the past, but also gives an opportunity for visitors to look into the future. The National Museum closely cooperates with EXPO organizers. You see the sphere on a showcase that was presented to us by EXPO 2017 representatives. Also in the Hall of Astana, there is a kiosk dedicated to EXPO 2017. There you will find the ideas of implementation, the structure and the design of the object itself.
This informational kiosk translated in 3 languages. You can choose one of these languages, for example English, And here you will be acquainted with the concept and general architecture of this exhibition, Expo 2017. Here you will be acquainted with the main design. In the center of this exhibition will be situated sphere. Also here you will be acquainted with the location of this exhibition, which is situated in the capital of our government. Also, you can choose one of these technologies and it will give you whole detailed information what kind of technologies will be used in this exhibition Expo 2017.
The preparation to upcoming exposition of 2017 has also involved the staff of the National Museum. In the anticipation of visitors from various countries, there are a lot of preparatory works being carried out for a proper reception of the guests.
В преддверии Экспо 2017 мы готовим экскурсоводов.
In anticipation of Expo 2017, we're preparing courses for guides. For example, now we're teaching an English course to the personnel on different levels, starting from beginner and up to advanced. In other words, everybody has to know the language by the start of Expo 2017.
Проведение Экспо английский язык должны знать все.
The special feature of the National Museum is the treasure of burial mound Issyk, the Gold Man. This artifact has become one of the national symbols of Kazakhstan. The copies of Saka warrior in golden armor are set in many cities of Kazakhstan, while the original itself can be observed exactly in the National Museum. Total area of the museum, 74,000 square meters. 9 exposition halls and halls of temporary exhibitions. This is Hall of Astana, a Hall of Independent Kazakhstan, an ethnography hall, a Hall of History, a Hall of Medieval History, a Hall of Modern Art, and the Hall of Gold. The excursion languages are Kazakh, Russian, English, Chinese, and Turkish. The admission fee is 500 tenge, the cost of the excursion with a guide 1000 tenge, foreign languages 2000 tenge, admission fee to the Hall of Gold 1000 tenge. One of the interesting museums of Astana is the Military Historical Museum of Armed Forces of the Republic of Kazakhstan. The personnel of the museum is also preparing for the reception of guests.
У нас все экскурсии на 3 языках проводятся. Сейчас мы работаем над тем, чтобы у нас были экскурсоводы, которые владели китайским.
All of our excursions carried out in 3 languages. Currently we're teaching our guides Chinese, Turkish, and German, so we're aiming to expand. The guides are constantly being trained.
Экскурсоводы постоянно у нас стажируются, проходят специализацию, повышение уровня своей квалификации, изучают материал, с которым им приходится работать.
The exhibition halls of the museum are dedicated to weapons of the 20th and 21st centuries. The military history of the 20th century, the ancient military history of Kazakhstan, and other periodical exhibitions. The pleasant bonus will be the visit to a concert hall, in which the Central Military Orchestra and the Central Ensemble of the Ministry of Defense of the Republic of Kazakhstan will perform. The RAV Military Orchestra is well known and much loved by Astana people. The spectacular performances of this collective are always popular. The regular International Festival of Military Wind Orchestras is one of the brightest street summer events of the capital of Kazakhstan. In the next edition of our program, you will see how is the program of switching to green economy and increasing the share of energy from renewable sources is being implemented in Kazakhstan. Where and to what extent did Kazakhstan decrease its emissions? Are the French tourists going to visit Expo in Astana? Will be told by the extraordinary and plenipotentiary ambassador of the Republic of France to the Republic of Kazakhstan, Francis Etienne.